Hello everybody and welcome to SmashPad.com's Best of 2018. Over the course of the last 10 days, we've showcased the top 10 games of each of our staffers, and today, to ring in the new year, we'll be launching some Let's Plays and talking about SmashPad's overall top 10 games of 2018. Number 4 on our list is Octopath Traveler, developed by Square Enix in conjunction with Aspyr and published by Nintendo. Now this one stirred some controversy, because 4 of us actually had Octopath as our game of the year, but the way the math worked out, it only got to number 4. Now I personally think that's a disservice to the game, but that aside, there are plenty of great games this year, and Octopath was obviously one of them. Here at SmashPad, we love RPGs, and Octopath Traveler is arguably the best one to come out in a really long time. The game owes its greatness to Tomoya Asano, who's seemingly been on a mission to prove that classic JRPGs not only have a place in the gaming landscape today, but they still belong at the forefront. In our review of the game, we stated that it's the cast, the style of storytelling, and the battle system are what really put the game over the top. And not surprisingly, these are the 3 things you need to focus on in order to make a great RPG. Octopath does all of that. So the game features 8 main characters, and what you're seeing here is the end of Therion's Chapter 1. Therion is a thief, and what happened is he tried to steal from these rich people's house, and ends up finding out that the thing he was trying to steal was part of a bigger group of things that was already stolen, and as a result, these people ended up sort of putting him on probation. So he has this bracelet that he can't take off unless he does what they say, and what they want him to do is to recover all of the stolen heirlooms that were at their house. So yeah, one of the main things that makes Octopath what it is the fact that, you know, you have 8 main characters, and each of these characters has their own journey to go on. They have their own stories, and they're all pretty personal stories. None of them are really trying to save the world. Like, for example, you have Teresa, who's a merchant, just trying to be the best merchant ever. You have Ulberich, who was a knight of a fallen kingdom, and he moves so he can find solace somewhere else, and he finds out after a kidnapping that one of the people behind it is the person that actually ruined his previous kingdom in the first place. So it's that sort of thing. And a lot of these stories are pretty dark too. Like, for example, we have Primrose, who is a dancer who saw her father get killed when she was a child, and now she's actually working as an exotic dancer, and she ends up seeing one of the 3 people who murdered her father, and she's on her way to seek vengeance. Like, this game is rated T for teen, but there's a whole lot of more mature themes going on here. So again, this is early on in the game. We have 2 characters here. My main character was Honnet. I just finished her Chapter 1, and I went south to recruit Therion. And I already told you about him, so I finished his Chapter 1 as well. And now I'm in the world map, messing around with their skills. So each character has a job, and with these jobs comes different skills that will help you in battle and things like that. So I'm giving Therion the Steel SP skill, which is actually one of the coolest attacks in the game. I'll show you why in a bit. And the main thing that really makes Octopath Traveler what it is just the way the game looks. I mean, when you look at a screenshot, it doesn't really do the game any justice. It just looks like your standard 16-bit RPG. But when you see it in action, it's totally something else. In HD, on a bigger screen, all of these HD effects and animations look totally amazing here. So, let's look at the battle system. I don't know if you guys see these 2 shields under the birds. Those are shield points. And what happens is, none of our attacks are going to be particularly effective until we find their weakness. And here we find out that this weakness is a sword. So when you hit him with the sword, the number value goes down, and after you break that number, he becomes vulnerable to pretty much any weapon. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the sword with Therion. There, I cleared his shield, and now they're vulnerable to any attack. So I'm going to go ahead and use Thunderbird to see if they're weak against the thunder. So They're not weak against the thunder, but it's also a powerful attack, so I was able to get rid of it quickly. So we find here that they're weak to sword and axe. So this is going to be important after the turn's over when they actually have their shield up again. But I killed them before it even happened. So yeah, that's the Octopath battle system. It's not one of those battle systems where you have to, you know, press A and you're done all the time, or press A all the time and you're done. It's really involved, and yeah, it's really enjoyable. But this is also not the kind of game you want to play when you're about to go to sleep, because you don't really want to fall asleep into an RPG like that. But yeah, here's a look at the world map, and it shows where each of their characters are, and these are the guys that I can recruit. If you see here at the upper right, you see Therion's Chapter 2, and it also gives you the suggested level in which you should actually go into that area. So I'm going to try to travel here and get to Alphen, but I just want to go over the battle system again. So as I told you, we have the shield points, and what you want to do first is you want to be able to get rid of their shields to make them vulnerable. So I did that with the first enemy here, and I'm going to go ahead and try it out with the other one. See, it went down from 2 to 1, and her effect gives her another attack, so we'll go ahead and use that. And now they're both vulnerable. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Steel SP move, which actually attacks twice. And I was able to get rid of that enemy rather quickly. Same deal here. Get rid of the shield. Have Haunted attack once here. And I don't know if you see those little dots there, but those are boost points. But I'm using one of Haunted's effects, which is the ability to capture these monsters. She's also sort of a beast tamer. She can just recruit enemies that you run into, and yeah, that's about it. So this is early on in the game. Let me go ahead and jump to my first play file. I already beat the game, obviously, so I just wanted to show you what you can do in the post game. But it's not really the post game I want to show you. It's the effects that you have with each party member in your party. So when you look around here, all these speech bubbles means you can go ahead and talk to people. So when you go into a tavern, you can go ahead and change your character. You can use up to 4 people. So here I'm going to switch out Cyrus for Therion. I know you guys already saw Therion, but I just like having him here because he can open purple chests, and that's something that only he can do. And he also has the steal ability, which is rather awesome. And here I'm just showcasing like the different kinds of jobs you can be a part of an Octopath Traveler. I've maximized quite a bit of these already, as you can see with the check marks here on the right. But yeah, let's go ahead and make him an apothecary. So if you see here, instead of just talking to these NPCs, I can go ahead and steal from them. That's something that Therion and only Therion can do. See? So I'm going to go ahead and steal from this person. And it gives you percentages of your percentage of stealing it. So if it's at 100%, it's an automatic steal. If you fail at stealing, there's a sort of this... It's kind of like Grand Theft Auto, where you're like wanted. So in issues like that, you wouldn't be able to use your special effects. So another thing you can do is you can actually fight these NPCs. And as you can see here, this NPC is blocking my way inside this house. And the only way to get rid of him is to fight him. So I'm using Ulbrich to go ahead and fight him. This is a easy match because this is actually an early part of the game, and I'm using a souped up team. So yeah, that person's dead, or rather fallen, and now they're not in the way of the door anymore. So I can go ahead and open that purple chest that only Therion can open. I can go ahead and get that secret item, and I'll go ahead and talk to this kid and, you know, steal his stuff. Because why not? So yeah, back to the world map. The cool thing about this game is it really encourages exploration. Every time you visit a town, it'll get plotted on your map, and you can go ahead and quick travel to it. And the load times in this game are actually really, really fast, which is really impressive for Nintendo Switch. So here's a town in the Snowlands. And let's see here. I'm just going to go ahead and steal his stuff because I like items. And there's no maximum of stuff you can carry, so that's one cool feature here. So here I'm in the southern wilds, and it shows here that the recommended experience level is level 45 or so. So most of the enemies here are going to be higher leveled, which will give me more experience points. So let's go ahead and fight a few here.
Out of my way.
Alright. So they're only weak against axes, so I have to use my axes to get rid of their shields. Alright. So go ahead and attack me. Go ahead, it's fine. Olberg has an axe. This makes it easy for me, but I keep missing. Alright, so that person's broken. And the Sorcerer is actually one of the super classes that you get much later in the game, and they're actually really hard to find because you have to really explore your sword. So I'm going to go ahead and use that steal ability, which allows me, or not steal, I used my BP to allow myself to attack twice. And yeah, this Sorcerer can attack things three times, and that made that battle easy for me. So yeah, this is Octopath Traveler. Let's go ahead and check out what's going on here at Northreach again. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, so I'll just go ahead and save my game. So yeah, this is Octopath Traveler, my personal game of the year, and number 4 on our list, so thanks for watching, guys.